Elias sat on the edge of his bed as twilight settled over the village. Despite the gentle chirp of crickets outside his window, his heart fluttered with unease. For many nights now worries had weighed on him, piling up like stones in his chest whenever darkness fell. He feared the unknown challenges of tomorrow, the echoes of yesterday's troubles, and these anxious thoughts refused to let him rest. On this night, however, Elias remembered an old tale his mother once told him. A story of a secret forest path that had only revealed itself under the light of a full moon. A path said to lead travelers to a place of deep peace. Desperate for relief, he decided to leave the safety of his home and seek out this moonlit path to tranquility. He lit a small lantern to guide his way, cracked open the cottage door. The moonlight was strong enough. Somehow he felt drawn to the natural glow of the light. The village was hushed at this late hour. Faint golden light leaked from a few windows where others had yet to fall asleep. But most cottages stood dark and silent. Elias tread softly past the familiar homes and gardens, mindful of each sound his boots made on the dirt road. A lone barn cat watched him from a fence post, its green eyes blinking slowly before it curled back into a ball. He realized that even the usual distant barking of farm dogs or chatter from neighbors was absent now. It was a strange feeling to be the only one wakeful and about, yet it made him feel almost invisible and free to pursue this secret journey. Though a flicker of nervousness sparked within him at venturing out alone so late, a stronger current of resolve pushed him forward. He yearned for the inner stillness promised in his mother's old tale, and that hope gave him courage. Pulling on his cloak and well-worn boots, Elias stepped out into the midsummer night. The air was cool but not cold, wrapping around him like a soothing whisper. Above, a round silver moon hung low, bathing the dirt road and cottages in a gentle glow. He took a deep breath, inhaling the earthly scent of night-blooming jasmine and dew-kissed grass. With each step away from his door, he felt a small part of his burden ease, as if the fresh night was dissolving the day's anxieties. Ahead of him, at the end of the village lane, the old forest waited, its tall oaks and maples rustling softly in the breeze, leaves shimmering under the moonlight. The forest had always seemed ordinary by day, but tonight, Elias sensed something different in the air, a quiet invitation drawing him forward. As he crossed from the open lane into the embrace of the trees, the canopy above dimmed the moonlight. The path was narrow and overgrown, illuminated in patches where silver beams slipped through the leaves. Elias hesitated just inside the tree line, his eyes adjusting to the darkness. Every crackle of a leaf or snap of a twig underfoot made his pulse quicken. In the shifting shadows, he thought he saw forms lurking, perhaps a crouching beast behind a stump, or a figure trailing him among the gnarled trunks. His mind, still anxious, conjured images of things that weren't really there. and for a moment, he felt the familiar grip of fear tightening. He paused, closed his eyes, recalling his mother's gentle voice telling him that the forest was full of friends, if only he looked closely. He remembered being a child, walking by daylight among those very trees, with her hands in his. How safe and comforted he had felt then, trusting the woods completely. Drawing on that memory, he forced himself to take another breath, slow and deep. The dark shapes resolved into what they truly were. A bent old willow, a fallen log, nothing more. The woods were not threatening him at all. In fact, they were quiet and calm, merely unfamiliar in the night. Elias whispered to himself, "They're just shadows, only shadows." Repeating these words, he felt his racing heart begin to settle. He stepped forward, letting the moon guide him deeper along the overgrown path. The further he walked, the more his senses attuned to the forest's gentle night music. He noticed the soothing chorus of crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl somewhere high in the branches. Instead of alarming him, these sounds began to feel companionable, a reminder that he was not alone, but rather in a living world that kept its own calm rhythm. Moonbeams danced on the path wherever the breeze parted the leaves, creating shimmering patterns on the ground that drifted and changed like slow-moving clouds. Elias found his steps unconsciously matching the unhurried tempo of the forest as he focused on the subtle crunch of soil and leaves beneath his feet. The knot of worry in his chest loosened further. He realized he was no longer replaying the trouble of his days in his mind. Instead, he was simply here. One step, then the next, present in this quiet journey. Around a gentle bend in the path, Elias spotted a pair of luminous eyes watching him from a moonlit clearing just ahead. His breath caught, but he stayed still, remembering not to let fear rush in unchecked. Out of the shadows stepped a young deer, its coat dapple-patterned, soft brown, and whites that almost glowed in the lunar light. The creature regarded him calmly, its large dark eyes reflecting the moon as gentle twin lights. It flicked its ears in his direction, curious but unalarmed, each movement graceful and cautious. Its body remained relaxed, posture trusting and peaceful. Elias remained quiet, and in a moment of mutual curiosity, the deer took a few cautious steps closer. He could see its nose testing the air, catching his unfamiliar scent. Yet it did not run. Instead, the deer lowered its head to nibble at some clover, as though to show it felt safe. A soft smile found its way to Elias's face, perhaps his first genuine smile of the day. The simple innocence of the forest creature soothed him. He gave a slow, respectful bow of his head in greeting, and the deer flicked its tail pleasantly before wandering back among the trees. If the forest's own inhabitants could be at peace with him there, perhaps he too belonged in this peaceful night realm. He continued on, carrying the quiet companionship of the deer with him. Soon the hush of the rustling leaves was joined by a new sound, a faint babbling of water. The path opened up to the banks of a narrow stream that cut across the forest floor. In the moonlight, the water shimmered with a gentle radiance as it danced over smooth stones. The night sky was mirrored in miniature on the surface. Elias could see a scattering of starlight and a pale fragment of the moon floating among the ripples. He knelt by the stream, cupping cool water in his hands, bringing it to his lips. The drink was refreshing, and he suddenly realized how tense and thirsty he'd been. As he paused there, he caught sight of his reflection rippling in the stream's surface. The image distorted by moving water, his features wavering and stretching in ways that made him chuckle quietly. His worried frown from earlier was gone, replaced by a more serene expression he almost didn't recognize. He dipped his fingers lightly into the current and watched as the ripples transformed his reflection further, blurring away any traces of concern on his face in the water. When the water calmed again, his reflection returned, looking calmer, more assured than before. Elias took this as a promising sign. He whispered a thank you to the stream for its water and for its silent lesson. Just as the water settled when left undisturbed, so too could his mind find stillness if he let his worries drift away for a time. A fallen log lay conveniently across the narrowest part of the stream, creating a natural bridge. Elias balanced himself and carefully walked across, one deliberate step at a time. Halfway over, the log shifted slightly under his weight and he felt a spike of alarm, but he steadied himself, focusing on a fixed point across the water and exhaling slowly. In that moment of stillness, he noticed a cloud of fireflies rise from the ferns on the opposite side of the bank. They blinked in synchrony, little lanterns floating in the air, swirling around him. The fireflies bobbed and twisted, lighting his way forward. He followed their playful dance into the deeper woods. Their soft gold golden lights a gentle guide. It was as if the forest itself was offering him encouragement, celebrating each small triumph over fear, with every step illuminated by those tiny lights. Elias felt more confident that he was on the right path, both the physical path through the woods and the inner path toward the peace he sought. He realized with quiet wonder that the heavy dread which he had clung to at the start of his journey had lightened considerably, replaced by a gentle curiosity and a growing sense of trust in the path ahead. Eventually, the fireflies drifted away among the trees, and Elias found himself standing in a wide clearing. The sky outstretched above him, the moon directly overhead, bathing everything in gentle light. The sky above was vast and clear, a tapestry of stars sprawled from horizon to horizon. The Milky Way's pale band swirled among the constellations, its glow subtle but entrancing against the deep blue-black night. Elias felt very small, and yet protected under this glittering dome, as if he had wandered into a space that was sacred, where earth and sky meet in harmony. In the center of the clearing stood an enormous oak tree, its trunk thick and knotted with age, roots sprawling like gentle arms across the ground. The oak's leaves barely rustled, as if the great tree was resting in meditation. Elias approached it reverently, feeling as though he were coming upon an ancient friend. He gently placed a hand on the oak's bark, which was warm and alive under his fingertips, and felt a subtle vibration, as if the tree had a heartbeat of its own, slow and steady. The air felt different, profoundly quiet, yet rich with unseen energy. Elias realized that the tension in his shoulders was completely gone. He sighed a deep relief, and at that very moment, a gentle voice spoke from the darkness beyond the tree. "Welcome, traveler," the voice said, low and kind. "I've been waiting for you." Elias peered in the direction of the voice. From behind the broad trunk emerged a figure draped in a simple cloak, the color of moss. An old man stepped into the moonlight, his eyes bright and gentle beneath silvered eyebrows. In one hand he held a carved wooden staff, and around his neck hung a small pendant that glinted softly. Elias instinctively bowed his head in respect, sensing that this man, whoever he was, carried wisdom in his gaze. "Who are you?" Elias asked quietly. The old man offered a kind smile. "A friend, perhaps a guide, if you'll allow." He gestured for Elias to sit with him at the foot of the great oak, and Elias complied, folding his legs beneath him on the cool, soft grass. The old man sank down to sit as well, moving with grace that belied his age. For a moment, neither spoke. The only sounds were the night breeze in the oak's leaves and the steady hum of crickets. Elias felt the man's calm presence envelop him like a warm blanket. Finally, in a voice hushed as if to not disturb the sanctity of the clearing, Elias spoke. "I came here because I could not find peace in my own bed. My mind troubles me with fears and worries. I heard the story of a path that leads to peace, and I suppose I hoped it was true." His words sounded almost apologetic, as if he worried the quest was foolish. The old man nodded slowly, his eyes never leaving Elias's face. "It is true," he said. "Many have walked this path seeking calm. Tell me, what is it that you fear?" Elias looked down at his hands, thinking. It was difficult to put into words. "I fear what might happen tomorrow. I fear failing those I care about. Sometimes I even fear things that might be lurking in the dark, even if my rational mind knows they aren't real," he admitted. As he said this, he realized how the forest shadows had played tricks on him earlier. The old man's smile grew, understanding in his eyes. "Your fears are like shadows in the night," he said gently. "In the dark, they look larger and more frightening than they truly are. But when you shine a little light on them, when you examine them closely, you see, they are merely ordinary shapes without real power." Elias felt these words sink in deeply. He remembered how the twisted shapes in the woods turned out to be just trees and logs, once he braved a closer look. He gave a slow nod. "I understand," he murmured. The old guide continued, his voice low and comforting. "We all carry worries, my boy, but you don't have to carry them all at once. Focus on this moment," he advised. "Feel the grass beneath you and the breeze on your face. Here, in this very moment, nothing is attacking you. Nothing is as dire as your mind might convince you. You are safe under this sky." Elias did as he was told. He pressed his palm against the cool grass and felt the solid earth supporting him. He noticed the gentle caress of the breeze that carried the subtle scent of the oak leaves and the distant honeysuckle. He took in a slow breath through his nose, filling his lungs with the night air. let it out in a long, quiet sigh. The guide placed a warm hand on Elias's shoulder. "Tomorrow will come in its own time," he said. "Trust that you will have the strength to meet it when it does. For now, give yourself permission to rest. The moon watches over you. The earth cradles you. You can let go." A lightness bloomed in Elias's chest as if a tight knot were gently untying. "I think I can," he whispered to himself, more than an answer. They sat together for a while in a peaceful silence. Elias felt no urge to speak further. It was enough to simply be here, breathing calmly under the ancient oak, with the comforting presence of this wise stranger at his side. For a moment, the old man stood quietly beside the oak, humming a low, soothing melody that blended in the night air in a gentle, rhythmic voice. He began to recite an old verse. "Sleep, child of earth, under moon's silver light. Release every worry for the whole of this night. Here, in the silence, you're safe in the deep. The world will watch over you. Rest now and sleep." This simple rhyme floated like a lullaby through the clearing, each line slow and deliberate, carrying the promise of comfort. Elias felt the words settling over him like a soft blanket, closed his eyes for a moment, letting their meaning sink into his heart. "Sleep, child of earth, under moon's silver light. Release every worry for the whole of this night. Here in the silence, you're safe in the deep. The world will watch over you. Rest now and sleep." The old man gave a satisfied nod. "You have found what you came for. Keep it with you." He reached down and patted the soft grass under the oak, wordlessly inviting Elias to lie back and rest. "Sleep here if you wish," the guide said gently. "You are safe under these burrows. The forest will watch over you." Elias felt a wave of gratitude. He stretched out as the old man suggested, the ground beneath him as welcoming as a feather bed. For a moment the old man remained by the oak, and Elias allowed himself to recline fully, trusting the moment. The guide then slowly rose to his feet. Elias looked up. The old man offered a reassuring smile and gestured to the great oak and the moon above. "Remember, peace is always within reach," he said. "Sometimes we just need to walk a different path to find it. Trust that this peace is part of you now." With that, the man stepped back into the shadows. For a moment, his form seemed to merge with the darkness between the trees, and Elias wondered if he had been entirely human or perhaps something more. A single firefly drifted past, and in its glow Elias caught the gentle gleam of the guide's smile once more. And then the man was gone as quietly as he had appeared. He lay back on the soft grass, using his rolled-up cloak as a pillow. A pleasant heaviness settled in his limbs from the long walk, a comforting kind of fatigue. He allowed that weight to pull him gently downward, imagining any lingering tension in his body flowing out through his feet and into the warm earth. His arms relaxed at his sides, fingers uncurling as they let go of the last bits of strain. Even the muscles in his neck and shoulders, tight with worry at the night stopped, had loosened, now soft and at ease. With each slow breath, Elias released more of himself into the quiet of the clearing until he felt completely supported, as if the earth itself were calling him. He gazed up through the lattice of gently swaying branches, feeling as though the sky itself were singing a lullaby of silence all around. The forest had settled into the deepest hush, and even the breeze had stilled to a whisper. It was as if the world knew that this traveler needed true rest. Elias's eyelids grew heavy. He no longer felt any pang of worry or fear. Those feelings were far behind on the path he'd walked. In their place was a profound comfort and trust in himself and in the gentle night around him. His last thoughts were simple and sincere. Gratitude for the journey, for the peace blooming within him. With a contented sigh, Elias drifted into sleep under the guardianship of the ancient oak and the silver moon. The forest stood vigil, serene and silent, as the night carried on. Not a single disturbing dream troubled Elias's rest. In this safe tranquility, the only movement was the slow rise and fall of his chest as he breathed deeply in slumber, and the soft glow of moonlight that continued to bathe the clearing, gentle and constant, until at last